everyone, it's Shari Carroll for SimonsSaysStamp.com with a really fun project using the Prima Metal TV. This is an adorable metal box that looks like a TV ready for your alterations. I have used my TV to celebrate the upcoming birth of my granddaughter Melody and have used one of the Prima paper dolls to adorn the outside. To get started, I've mounted my doll onto my Fiskars stamp press, and I've stamped several of the images, and I've used the Ranger Archival black ink. I'll be using colored pencils, so this is perfect ink for that. I've also stamped a portion of the dress onto some pattern paper. I'll be using the Spectrum Noir colored pencils to color in my images, and this one is the marine one because it happens to have a really nice blue that matches that pattern paper. So go ahead and open this up and pull out my blue-green or teal, we call it pool, and so this one pencil will just help me get some definition and depth in between the ripples of the dress. I'll start by coloring just on the line of the dress and just to the right of it, just for that back piece to look like it's sitting further behind, and already it's starting to take on some definition. For the skin tones, I'm using some flesh type colored pencils, and some of them are a little bit yellower, but I'll be adding some pink to that in a little bit. And this is the Essential set from Spectrum Noir. When I'm doing skin tones, I really blend a lot of colors together just to get the right color. So I have that yellowish color down already, and now I'm going back in with a little bit more pink color. And I do want to make sure that I have like sun-touched shoulders and the tops of the arms, and a little bit darker color around the edges of the arms so they look round. So I'll just keep filling in until I'm happy with the color. For her hair, I'm adding in some red tones since my son is a redhead and I'm really hoping for a redhead baby. So I've picked out some pencils that have different tones of red, even orange and blonde. Since our natural hair color is never one color, I will be adding streaks so that it looks a little bit more highlighted and natural. I'll be cutting out my doll in layers, and so here I'm doing the back end of her hair, so this will sit behind her face, and I'm making sure that I get a little bit darker color around the neckline and the hairline. Also, since there's a lot of open area on her hair, I'm adding in my own swirls so that it looks like it's curled. Once I have most of my color down on her hair, I'm going to go back in with a tone that sits in between the lights and the dark, and I'm just going to fill in, and this will smooth everything out, and it helps to blend the colors together. I have cut the pieces of my paper doll out, and here I'm just using my black Memento marker, and I'm coloring around the edge. Since the doll will be sitting up by herself and not mounted to any paper, I want to make sure that her edges look all complete and filled in. And now it's time to start putting her together, so I'm just using the Ranger glue stick and I'm just filling in the areas of the back of the paper doll. And once I have enough, I make sure I get all around the outside edges. So I'll go ahead and lay this out, and you can see how it really comes together once you go ahead and lay those two pieces together. I'll continue putting everything together and we'll move on to the TV box. So this is the Prima TV, and I just absolutely love it. So it is metal, and the back end has a hinge, and that opens up so you can go ahead and lay your papers down and start adding your embellishments. I'm using the Prima paintable postcards, and I've torn one piece of edge because the one postcard is not large enough to fill in the back. So I'm just using my tape runner here on the bottom part, and I'll just go ahead and get all the edges and make sure I have it upright. So I'll go ahead and just set this down onto that back door and make sure that I have it lined up, and once I'm happy with that, I'll go ahead and press that adhesive down. So like I said, I've torn a piece off of another one, and this will be the fill-in part for the top. And again, I'm just using my tape runner just to add a little bit of adhesive, and I'll line that up and press that in. And I think they go really well together even though it's a torn edge. I'll be adding flowers on top, so that will just serve as a really nice backdrop for my arrangement. I'm going to start off by adding my paper doll, and I have folded her legs back. I'll go ahead and show you that. And this will help her to stand up. So she's going to just be kind of on the inside and the outside. So what I'm going to do is just add a little bit of adhesive to her legs, and since they're folded I can go ahead and press those right down into the bottom. And then I also have a little adhesive on the back of her head, and so that she can sit right on the outside. I'm adding my flowers with a little foam square, and I've also kind of wrapped that little wire around my paintbrush handle, and I'll go ahead and just lay these in place and start filling in. For the inside, I have added an ultrasound picture. I thought this was a really special picture. I've also created little banners, and I put those on twine. And I've just cut strips of this Prima paper, and I cut them in half-inch strips, and then I used some Kelly Perky stickers, and I put them on each of those strips of papers, folded those over a twine, and cut the banner end at the bottom. And then I glued the twine in place with some glossy accents. I have to say this was a really fun project, and it has a lot of meaning to me and something that I'll display in my living room. I love how the paper doll came together with all the flowers and my grandchild's name. I hope you have also enjoyed my project using Prima products, and thanks for watching.